Yo, what's good, people? We back at it. Another week of you know what it is. I'm the host with the most, LJ, and thank you for listening to another episode of What's the Word with LJ Mentor Podcast. Back in here for another week. Alright, so you guys have heard the saying like, things come back full circle, or oh man, here we go with this shit again, or things have always come back, deja vu all over again. Or it's like a repeat situation where not things might not be totally the same, but it reminds you of a lot of events that might happen. Like, oh man, look, like I done seen this movie or seen this thing happen before. And that's the word of the week. Today is repeat, because there's a couple things that's transpired throughout this past week that I'm thinking like, man, things just really come back full circle. Or you just know, too, like, I know the older generation might say to you when you're younger, like, man, you might think you out here doing something different, but like, I done been there and did it. Like, they look at you and see, you might think you know every damn thing, but you realize, you get a little older, you start realize you really ain't know nothing. Like, people that's grown enough to admit that, think like when your teen years, even early 20s, some of us think we can't tell us nothing. We fly, we can do, we think we can do whatever the hell we want, but and you might have somebody older than you say like, hey man, I've been there and did that, and you telling them like, nah. But that's just another example, like repeat situation. May not be repeat directly through you, but through somebody older than you that knows better. Like, it's basically another deja vu repeat situation. Might not be totally like the situation they're dealing with, but is something that comes back for a circle. So my point is, yeah, there's some repeat situations going on. You may think you are doing something different, but you're really not. That's why I love Nas's song on Lost Tapes. No idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, how it's done. Anyway, so like I always have a word of the week to relate to not all the topics, some of the topics. This week it doesn't relate to everything, but just a couple things. So I'm gonna start with Kanye West, right? I want to talk about this. The reason why this relates to him, repeat situation, is we've seen this before where albums have been delayed, and when the album comes out, and Kanye West just dropped the album, I think this past Sunday, Donda, which is named after his late mother. Rest in peace to Kanye West's mother, Donda West. And we've seen this before where he goes in a different direction and things are going crazy. It's this major build up, and this reminds me of like when he put out Yeezus. I know it was a big delay, and it came out, and people were so disappointed with the album. Or even 808 Heartbreak, 808 and Heartbreaks album that came out. This first album that came out after his mother passed away. Now this newest album is named after his mom's, and that's a beautiful thing to name it after his mom. And he's never been the same, and he's been doing a lot of crazy antics since then. His music has changed completely. When you evolve with time, you experience new things. Your music probably not gonna sound completely the same, but that doesn't make it better. Change is good, but not all change is good. And yeah, so yeah, I'm saying to say, like, as far as a repeat situation, I'm saying it reminds me of when he dropped 808s and Heartbreaks, and then he dropped actually a classic album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, even though the album's all, and then he dropped Yeezus, which a lot of people consider trash. Now this newest album, I couldn't get all the way through it yet. It's too damn long for one, but honestly the songs I heard was kind of trash. The only song I liked that I heard so far was Jesus is Lord, featuring Jay Electronica, and the Locks is on it. That's probably the best song on the album that I've heard so far. I heard a song with Jay-Z on it. I forget the name of that song, but like the first 5 to 6 songs, and then somebody just talking about Jesus is Lord, so I went and go listen to that album. That's a little later in the album, but that song is actually dope. I actually like that song. So it might be some jewels in there that I haven't heard, but it's hard to make a classic album nowadays. Not even a classic album, but it's hard to make a good to great album that's as long as this one. It's 27 songs on it. I don't know if there's any skits on there. But 27 cuts, like that's nowadays people's attention span is so short. People want their information now, and you want to get in and get out, whether that's a movie or I listen to an album, or people just want to keep on the go and move on, rather than to sit with you. But even just thinking about that, it's hard to make a double album great. Like, I mean, I was going through like some lists of like just hip hop albums that are double albums. I mean, if this, I know people don't really buy CDs anymore, but if this was like out on CDs, this would be a double album. 27 songs, hour and 48 minutes. That's a double album. Or if it was on vinyl, which I actually know a few vinyl collectors. I think there will be four discs, 4 vinyls. So yeah, I mean it's there's a lot to take in. It's a lot. But the songs I heard, like, it mostly was trash. I mean, it just, I don't know, that whole sound is just not, I don't know. And it's not just the gospel music for me, because there's some great gospel music out there, like music about God. I love that. I think Jesus Walks is one of Kanye West's greatest records. I mean, that song is amazing. But yeah, this album, it just feels all over the place. The songs I heard, like the production and I don't like Kanye's voice on some of I don't know. It's just the songs I heard was whack. I mean, there might be some good songs in there, like I said, the Jesus is Lord record is dope, but mostly the album is trash. From what I've heard, but and it's been a while since Kanye's put out a great album. I mean, Life of Pablo is a good album. But since then, it hasn't been. But Kanye is such a big figure. He broke a streaming record. When his album finally did drop, and it was probably genius what he did, because the album, like I said, this album was delayed for weeks. It was supposed to drop, I think, in July, and then it was supposed to drop August 6th, the same day as Nas' album. Then later on, it was supposed to drop the next week, and then it finally dropped a few days ago. So I don't know if he purposely built up that anticipation. He was having a few listening parties to build up the anticipation, or we're just not done yet. I have no idea, but it's crazy. It finally dropped, and it's just the Deja vu all over again. Like it kind of sounds like 808 Heartbreaks, with a mixture of some other stuff. So I mean, I don't know. Overall, I wasn't feeling it. I don't know if I'm gonna go back and finish the album, because I didn't really like, what I heard. And I like some of Kanye West stuff, but this one ain't it for me. I still think Nas has the best album this year, and it's really not close. There's been some other really good albums, but I think Nas is winning by a landslide when it comes to that. Kendrick Lamar, I know, announced on social media that he's going to be dropping. It's going to be his last album with TDE, Top Dog Entertainment. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. It's been a minute. He ain't dropped an album since 2017. No, he put out, he was a huge part of the Black Panther movie soundtrack, but that's still not his album. So he hasn't put out an album in 4+ years, 4.5 years. So it's been a minute. But yeah, I'm be looking for it. I know he put out a verse on Baby Keem's new song Family Ties, and that verse was dope. But yeah, Kendrick, I'm looking forward to it. As far as Kanye, yeah, it's a repeat. Remind me of 808 breaks and remind me of the Yeezus as far as it being delayed and finally coming out and being the disappointment. That's what it seemed like with this new one. But another thing that is kind of repeat situation, not completely, but that's going on the Gulf Coast right now. It's particularly Louisiana. Hurricane Ida, I believe. And I was even looking up to. I remember asking for a long time, like, how do they come up with these names, right, for these hurricanes? Uh, and the World Meteorological Organization, I believe it's called. They have a list of names that they cycle every 6 years. Uh, and they go through those names. That's how they actually come up with the names for male and female names for these different hurricanes. So, but it's crazy, I guess, the research they go into to get these names. But yeah, Hurricane Ida is the current one right now, and pray for anyone suffering down there in the south, whether it's Louisiana or anywhere else. But yeah, I'm just hoping, like, man, we seen this with Hurricane Katrina, where it did a lot of damage down there, and it's crazy. Everywhere has natural disasters, but I've never been in a hurricane myself, so but yeah, I can't even imagine how this affects people down there, and I just hope it's not. And I was reading reports of what the damage is doing right now, and but yeah, it just sounds like and let's take that into further, right? And I was wondering, I wonder how that's going to affect the New Orleans Saints football team, right? Obviously, as far as people down there, probably one of the last things they're thinking about is football right now. But I'm sure you got some die-hard Saints fans too that still want to see their team play. But yeah, I was thinking about, like, I wonder how that's going to affect the Saints, because, like, I know back in 2005 they had to move their team for the full season somewhere else. I can't remember where they played their games, but I know the entire season was played outside of Louisiana, or I'm sorry, outside of New Orleans. I think it was somewhere further, somewhere else in Louisiana. But I know they play against my team, the Packers, week 1 this year, and they've already announced they're moving game 1 to Jacksonville, to the Jaguars Stadium. So, man, it's like a repeat situation, like all over again, like people getting it back. I don't know if people are going to have to get evacuated, how serious the damage is, but man, it's crazy. So I'm hoping it's not that crazy, but it's like a repeat situation. People getting moved, but as far as I'll take it to a slightly different turns from back to the football aspect of it, right? Now the Saints open up at Jacksonville, so that's really not even fair, because it's not. And I heard some people say, "Why not move it to Green Bay?" I'm like, no, that's not fair, because it's really supposed to be a home game for the Saints. That would give the Packers an extra home game. Even though that's my team, it would be dope to see it played there. But no, that's not fair, because, and it's really kind of not even a home game. It's really like a neutral site. Like whenever they ever go play in London, it's really not a home. Whoever is supposed to be the home team, that's really not a home game. Because it's played in a different country. In this case, it's not a different country, but a different site. So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting, because that's really not a home game. I was wondering too, like, how is it gonna be to have fans back in the stands in every stadium this year? Because when we played the Saints last year in New Orleans, that Superdome gets loud. It's like a loud Thunderdome chamber in there, and we didn't have that the past season. So not gonna have that this year either, because we're not playing in New Orleans. So that's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know, like a weird way. I think Green Bay is favored in that game. I don't know if them moving the game affects the spread line in Vegas. I don't know. I gotta check that, but that might factor into it as well. But Yeah, I'm gonna check that probably when I get off here. Um, if that line is moved, I think the Green Bay was like a 3 point favorite. 'Cause I know uh, people that bet sports football is the number one bet sports here in the U.S. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to check that when I get off here. Um, but yeah, it's like man, deja vu all over again. Hopefully, it's just not like I was saying before. It's not about these different examples. Or it may not be exactly the same, but it reminds you a lot of man what's happened before. Things coming back full circle, and hopefully the recovery process down there is quick too. So let's hopefully pray on that. Uh, so rest of this, I want to talk about NFL real quick, right? So a couple things. You had the NFL top 100 list, which normally comes out like right before the season starts, and they had the list. The top 10 came out this past Saturday, and I know the top. I know Josh Allen was number 10, but let me just focus on the top five. Travis Kelsey, tight end, was number 5. Derrick Henry was number 4. Titans. Aaron Rodgers was number 3. I think he got slighted. He should have been higher. Aaron Donald was number 2. And Patrick Mahomes, for the first time, was number 1. I'm not surprised that Patrick Mahomes is number 1, but we focus on those 5, right? Because you had Josh Allen number 10. You had Tom Brady that was a number 7. Some people might think Tom Brady got slighted. But Tom Brady has been number 1 3 times on this list since they started it. And I like watching this list too, because it's voted by players, and it's nice to be see like what their peers think. Because I think anybody could know talent is the guys they're playing against. They know probably better than anybody. So, yeah, so it's dope to see their list. I like watching it when I can. So I caught the top 10 this past weekend. So yeah, top 5. Travis Kelsey, yeah, I think he's definitely worthy of being up there, being number 5. Best tight end in the league, I think by far. Other guy I think you compare with is George Kittle, San Francisco. He has a problem staying healthy though. But yeah, Travis Kelsey I think is the best tight end. Great route runner. Can catch. He got a little speed too, like a wide receiver. So yeah, he does a lot. So for Kansas City, but that's a dangerous offense, which makes it even more amazing that they got kind of shut down in the Super Bowl with having such an amazing offense. That goes to show you how dangerous Tampa Bay's defense is. Because I mean, Kansas City has weapons all over the place, like literally all over the place. I mean, besides Travis Kelsey, you got the guy Tyreek Hill, who I think was rated in the top 20 somewhere. You got Nicole Harmon, who might be just as fast, if not faster, than Tyreek Hill, and a good route runner. Yeah, they got weapons all over the place, and yeah, I think Travis Kelsey is worthy of being top 5. Number 4 was Derrick Henry for the Titans. Best running back in the league, had over 2,000 yards. Only 9 guys in history has only run for 2,000 yards. And it's more, all the records about to be broken now. Now that they added extra game, all these records they've had, it's only a matter of time for they expanded the season. They were talking about 18 games for years. So they made it 17, so all these passing yards, rushing yards, whatever they are, sacks. All these records about to be broken now. They had an extra game, so yeah, it's only a matter of time for this to happen. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that play out. But Derrick Henry, yeah, he's up there for sure. I'm surprised Josh Allen wasn't higher though after the year he had, but we're gonna see. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers I think was slighted. He should have been number 1. He was the MVP. He had the best season out of any quarterback last year. I mean, and I'm not being biased. I mean, it's just the truth. Look at the man numbers. I mean, 70% completion percentage, 48 touchdowns, which led the league. Only 5 interceptions. I mean, come on, dude. Like, I think 51 touchdowns overall because he had 3 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, he should have been #1. But top three is very good. And honestly, people might disagree with me. I think Aaron Donald's overrated. He's a great player, but I think he's overrated. I do. I mean, people were saying he might be the best defensive player ever. I'm like, nah, bro. He's not better than Lawrence Taylor. He's not better than Reggie White. Like, he is a great player, but I mean, I don't know, man. And like it seemed like they just handed him Defensive Player of the Year last year. I mean, if you look at the stats, guy at Pittsburgh, T.J. Watt, stats are better than his. I mean, and they still gave it to Aaron Donald. I mean, Aaron Donald is great. He is. But to be being honest, T.J. Watt should have won the award. I'm not even a Steelers fan, and I thought that T.J. Watt should have won Defensive Player of the Year. But yeah, Aaron Donald. Yeah, I don't think he should have been higher than Aaron Rodgers. If we talking just overall players, kind of hard to evaluate who's a better player at their position because they do different things. But even that, like, you gonna tell me he was better than Aaron Rodgers last year? Like, guy that led the league in touchdowns and completion percentage by a lot. Like, come on, man. Like, Aaron Donald didn't even have the most sacks last year. Like, come on, man. You ready? I'm not just hating here. I'm giving you facts. Like, why I think Aaron Donald shouldn't be #2. Like, come on. T.J. Watt, I think on this list was #9. But yeah, Aaron Donald is, like I said, I'm not saying he's trash because he's definitely not that, but he's a little overrated to me. He is. Just a tad bit overrated. And Pat Mahomes, can't be mad at him being #1. Even though I think Aaron should have got it. Pat Mahomes is a beast. He's the next gen. To me, he's the next coming to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you watch his game, he plays just like him. I don't know why people act like, oh, I ain't never seen this before. Like, throwing on the run, the no-look passes. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been doing that for years. So, I mean, Aaron basically laid the blueprint out for him. So, yeah. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes, he has a stronger arm and probably can throw 80, 90 yards than Aaron Rodgers. You know, he has a cannon too, but Patrick Mahomes does have a strong arm. We can be real about that. But to say, oh, I ain't never seen this before, that's just not true. Because I've been seeing Aaron do it for years. But yeah, Pat Mahomes he's a beast. He is. He's definitely up there. I'm not surprised, especially when he was rated #4 back-to-back years. I'm like, yeah, they probably gonna give it to him this year. Even though Aaron Rodgers had better numbers than Patrick Mahomes did make it a little farther. He got to the Super Bowl. Didn't do too well in the Super Bowl, but yeah, he did get there, and he had a great year too. But yeah, top 100, I like watching it. I don't always agree with them, but the players know. No, sometimes they might be like, huh? Like, why is that person that high, or why are they there? But for the most part, yeah, I like seeing what the players got to say about their peers. It's interesting what they say. Okay, so before I get up out of here, one last thing I want to talk about as far as football. I'm not saying he is, but is Andy Reid a better coach than Bill Belichick? Like I said, I'm not saying he is, but I was really thinking about this. Like, because if you look at it, right, Belichick, he's looked at as like the GOAT. Like Tom Brady's looked at as the GOAT in his position. Belichick is looked at as the greatest coach ever, right? But if you look at his history, without Brady, yeah, they had the one season where they went 11-5. They didn't make the playoffs though. And before he got Brady, he was in danger of losing his job. Didn't make the playoffs with Drew Bledsoe. Bledsoe got hurt in Brady's second year. He finally put him in there, and he's been winning ever since. And even before he got to New England, he was a head coach in Cleveland, and he did terrible there. Like, he was not a great coach there. And he was a defensive coordinator with the Giants, but that was Bill Parcells' team. Um, Parcells was the head coach, so Belichick was cut from the Parcells coaching tree. Um, Belichick, I mean, he definitely knows what he's doing. Um, to be around that long, like, instilling the Patriot way and in that organization, no nonsense coaching, choosing to cut players a year early as opposed to a year late. I mean, may seem harsh, but you got an organization running to be success. So we gonna see how he does with this rookie quarterback, Mack Jones. Um, People were talking about he was amazing in the preseason. I mean, against fourth stringers. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of New England preseason. Didn't really have time to. But yeah, I mean, Alabama's not really known for great quarterbacks. I mean, being real. I mean, they've won a lot of national championships because they've had great teams overall. Got great receivers, great players on defense. There's a lot of guys drafted in the NFL. But I mean, A.J. McCarron, who was on part of a national championship team, has pretty much been a backup in the NFL. Pretty much his whole career since he got drafted. So I mean, and Tua, I know he was high, but people are starting to have doubts on him. So we gonna see how he does this year. But just a fact check, Alabama's not really known for great quarterbacks. They are part of the team that's won national championships, but it's because they've had amazing players. A lot of them have been drafted to the NFL, and the quarterbacks that have been drafted haven't been that great. So, yeah, we're gonna see. Hopefully, Mac Jones is a beast. So we're gonna see about that. But as far as Andy Reid being Belichick, making my case right. You look at him as a head coach, right? In Philadelphia, right? McNabb is not considered an elite quarterback. He's good, but getting to the Super Bowl with Dominic McNabb. And I fucks with Andy Reid, man. I'm just be honest. I like Andy Reid because he's taking. Not only is he taking chance, he took a chance on Michael Vick, when a lot of people basically gave up on him. That whole dog scandal and everything, and a lot of players he's really brought in. I think gave him chances, black players, and they've thrived in his organization. Got to like I said, 5 NFC championships. Didn't win a Super Bowl in Philly, but he's had success, gotten far. Had the Eagles relevant, and got fired. And probably the best thing happened to him was going to the Chiefs, where he finally gets an elite quarterback. Even before he got Patrick Mahomes, he had Alex Smith, and was a playoff team pretty much every year. And but yeah, he's basically won everywhere he's going. Belichick has it, so we gonna see. Not saying Andy Reid is better than Belichick, but it's something to think about. Andy Reid finally got him an elite quarterback and won the Super Bowl. So now Belichick does have 6, but all those 6 are because of Tom Brady. Was a major part of that. So I'm gonna see how you do with this Mac Jones guy and see if he can have continued success with him. But I don't know, something to think about Andy Reid. I'm not saying he is better, but that's something something to think about. I don't know, man. I mean, we got so I'm just saying, putting it out there. But yeah, that's it for me. I seen some deja vu, like I said, this week. So yeah, that's why word of the week was repeat, because of the first 2 things I talked about. You may think we doing something different out here, but yeah, it's a lot of things that's come back full circle. I'm saying, but that's gonna be it for me. Stay safe out there. Stay sucker free. I'm out.